Hello, lovelies. Thank you for joining me here. I'm excited to share this today. It is a message, I guess, that's been on my heart for some time in terms of the beautiful conversations I've been having with any number of different soulpreneurs in my world, beautiful beings that I'm working with who are have been coming to me and having this conversation around, I am fully feeling that pull towards stepping into my power, stepping into my alignment, following my soul calling. And I've got all these soul gifts that I know I'm here to share and that I know I am embodying on my journey and stepping forth into. However, the common theme that comes up time and time again is the what to offer conversation, right? That we get a little bit tangled, and I will absolutely put my hand up here and say that this has been my experience in the past, of knowing our why, knowing our desire, knowing our drive, knowing our energetic alignment. For example, if you've been on your human design journey, if you've been exploring those things around your energy type, your strategy, your authority, all the goodness, right? And yet we can still have those, what do I offer? What do I put out into the world? It's that how of taking that energetic vibration that you are embodying, that you are calling in, and putting something out into the world that is kind of a summation of that, right? And is something that people can engage in, can join, can pay you for, right? This is where the beautiful part of being a soulpreneur is, that invitation from the universe to step into the stretchy stuff, to step into the uncomfortable, to step into the realm of how are you being paid? How are you showing up and offering something that is that energetic exchange when it comes to money, the monetary value of, this is my thing, this is my, soul work, this is my soul calling, this is my alignment, this is, my gift to the world, and this is the value on that, and this is the energetic exchange in monetary terms that comes along with that. So, there's a few things I wanted to explore with you in this session. Mainly starting off with talking about how obviously our human design strategy plays an enormous part in this, of the what to offer in terms of the, I guess, the containership, right? Like the what do I offer in terms of the structural side, the energetic side of, like, how do you package up your soul gifts and share them with the world that is in alignment with your strategy? Because that's such a huge part of the what. And it's something that I've kind of tangoed with in my own soulpreneur journey. I've had to explore, and mainly because I came from a background of heavily generator influenced, manifestor influenced business strategy that was kind of old school, right? That was old paradigm around coaching and how to set up your coaching business, even though for me personally, I knew that I did not desire to be a coach. I always knew that I was something else, and I am still yet at times to find any kind of description that doesn't feel like I've slapped a label on myself that doesn't quite fit. Right. So it's certainly something that I've had to progress through. I've worked with incredible coaches who have given, sort of their formula of, this is how to create your program, your course, your online resources. However, their energetic alignment was so vastly different to mine that I always kind of felt like I was having to almost like learn from all these different sources and then have to go in and like cherry pick the stuff that I really vibed with, and there was a whole lot that didn't for me. And I just knew straight away that I was like, well, you know, I'm so glad that that worked for you, but I know it's not going to work for me. Just knowing my energy, knowing my alignment, knowing my strategy, knowing my authority, and having that awareness was a really beautiful permission slip for me to essentially cultivate and curate a business model that embraces the fact, you know, I'm a mental projector. I'm a 6/2 profile. I am in the 1 to 2% of people. So why on earth would I follow a business strategy that is designed for someone else? And I think that this, even though, you know, we talk about the sort of in a conglomerate sort of overview sense of, you know, generators and manifesting generators being 35% of people, you know, and that sacral beings make up 70% of people. But, you know, something that I always feel really called to kind of speak to is that I really want you, no matter what your energetic makeup, your soul blueprint, your human design, I really want you to step into that powerful mindset that you are entirely unique. You know, like you might fall within, say, 35% of people who are generators, for example, but your unique set of gifts and skills and, you know, beautiful magic that you came here with and energetic vibration that you came here with is completely unique. So it is that you are, you know, the unicorn for what you embody and what you represent. So that's why, you know, yes, we can have overviews that appeal to kind of a wider demographic of, you know, energy types or strategies or authorities. But within that, I always am the first one to say, like, just because you're a Manny Gen does not mean you are going to do business. You are not going to show up in your soul work in a way that is 100% the same as that other Manny Gen that you are, you know, maybe looking to, that is a mentor, that is your coach, maybe, for example. So kind of all the permission slips to just be you and curate things in your own way, and to just be unapologetic about being a unicorn, no matter what your design, right? Like that is something that I'm really passionate about, kind of empowering people to understand about their human design. So let's dive into talking about what it means to create that container, that how it can, you know, a few little threads to pull on to see what resonates for you, right? Because when it comes to things like online courses, passive revenue, having resources, containers that are, you know, in that essence of doing that work in a really efficient way, sharing your gifts in a way that can be scaled without you burning out, is like my absolute dream for every soulpreneur, right? Like if you are following your soul calling, there is a need for you to have some way that you can share your magic, your gifts, your skills, your uniqueness, your insight, your wisdom that is scalable, that is not reliant on you always trading your time for money, right? And what I mean by that is that anyone who is in that realm of whether they are, you know, a healer, a coach, a teacher, you know, people who are in that realm that you maybe have been conditioned to believe that you can only exchange your gifts for money in a way of people either booking a session with you one-on-one, offering your services in that kind of intimate one-to-one dynamic, or one to, you know, maybe only a handful of people, showing up in person, perhaps, all of those things. And I want you to kind of bust open that paradigm and think to yourself, okay, how can I show up and share my gifts in a way that has that scalability, that is me producing a body of work maybe once, and that is something that can be a passive revenue generator in your business, because it can be something that sells while you sleep, right? Like you create some sort of online course or online resource or downloadable offering, and it can be in that realm of it's delivered automated, you know, like it goes out automatically no matter what time they sign up, when or where, which is my personal favorite, right? Hashtag projector efficiency. However, there are a lot of other people, including projectors, I have to add, who will have these things that people, you know, they've got the automation set up on the back end for, say, their program, their offering, their course, and they will still run it live. So you can sign up anywhere, anytime, and they're delivering pre-recorded content, but on a schedule that's only coming out, say, over a series of days, you know, once a day, over a series of weeks, and then they might jump in and do one live call or 2 live calls during the entire length of this program. But it is not something that is, they're not having to show up every single day and give energetically, because the vast bulk of what they're offering has already been recorded. And maybe at that time, the first time they did it, it was recorded live, for example, and that content has been repurposed. I've talked to so many soulpreneurs who have got this vast library of resources, you know, just a deep well of incredible insight, incredible wisdom, incredible magic. And they're kind of sitting on it because they're going, well, that was a program I ran once in a live capacity. And now I'm kind of like having to recharge and restore myself in order to get to the point that I can offer that in a live capacity again. And at the moment, I'm in deep rest. You know, imagine if you did it once and then had those videos, those recordings, those audios, right, that can be repurposed and repackaged. And it doesn't have to be as intensive as maybe the first time you did it live. It can be in a way that is far more getting straight to the heart of the insight, or getting to a summation, right? You could have a what's the word I'm looking for here? A transcript of your audios from those live sessions that's then compiled into a different format resource that can be some sort of downloadable PDF that is a lower cost investment, right? But the really juicy, like transformational, intimate container is your higher level offer, right? So there are just a vast universe of permutations of how we can explore things like online courses, passive revenue, creating offers and programs that sell while you sleep. And that's something that, as I say, it just lights me up, because my projector efficiency is just like, this is so fucking exciting. And my 4323 channel is just like, yes, this is the future. This is the new paradigm. This is how everyone should be doing business. We do not need to be slaves to a clock or a 9 to 5 or a cubicle where we are just sitting there twiddling our thumbs, waiting for that moment that we, you know, the clock hits 5 and we're released from our chains, right? Like, that is no longer the way the world is here to operate. And the faster we can kind of step into that new paradigm of understanding that time is not linear, you know, we can offer a service in person, absolutely, but we can also offer incredible services in that realm of being able to self-study, self-pace, download something at 3 a.m. if we can't sleep, and listen to it for half an hour. And then, you know, that opens up something that is so transformational and so quantum leapy in terms of our giving that gift of empowerment, transformation to someone else. Like, that's the world I'm here for. And so that's kind of the energy behind what I'm sharing in this session today. So let me just take a sip of my coffee while I'm on a roll with this. So let's talk about energy types and strategy and things, right? So obviously, let's start with talking about generators and mani-gens, right? Because, you know, you guys with your incredible, powerful sacral are on such a scale of energetic capacity, I think is what I like to always describe it as, that you can have a generator with only 2 centers defined, right? And 7 undefined or open centers, who are like one little connection away from being a projector or a reflector even, right? Like, the energetic scale of generators is so vast, and mani-gens as well, that it's something that I love being able to share that permission slip of, to go, hey, look at the amount of colored in centers and chakras in your chart. Have that kind of eye to go like, okay, if I only had 2, I'm kind of at like this end of the scale. If I've got all 9 defined, you know, I'm way up here, like on top of Mount Everest, right? Energetically, capacity, resilience wise. And just to kind of have that loving awareness of like where you sit along that energetic scale, right? It's a powerful thing to understand about yourself. And that can inform your aligned decision making when it goes through, you know, your strategy of that response of like, is this a hell yes? Does this feel fucking like full body vibes of like, yes, this is drawing me, it's magnetizing me. I'm following these breadcrumbs every day without trying to overthink it, right? Because I have lost count of the number of generators and mani-gens who are trying to logically come to the decision in their business and are bypassing that gut response. And passing it through, you know, your authority to make those clear, aligned decisions as to where is the right direction for you, like what it is that you truly are feeling called towards. And so considering your energetic capacity, it is looking at things like whether you get lit up by the notion of hosting a live container, right? Do you really enjoy that process of vibing with the energy of like getting on a group call or getting on a live stream where you're delivering a training in person, even situations, right? Does that light you up? Or are you a generator or a manifesting generator who's like, yeah, I can do a little bit of that, but actually I really, really am lit up by the idea of the freedom of knowing that my passive revenue evergreen courses are selling online all the time. It's all there ready to go. It's self-study. There is no live component. And actually then I have the freedom and the capacity to do all this other incredible stuff that I desire and I'm really called to, right? So I think it's understanding that difference of knowing that just because you have a defined sacral does not mean that you have to be showing up all the time in that live exchange of your energy. There are great, great benefits to having things in your business that are passive revenue, that are evergreen, that are instantly available for your audience. I was talking to a beautiful manager the other day who was saying that, you know, she'd realized that in her business, she didn't have any passive revenue things going on. Everything was hinged around one-on-one coaching and, you know, in being in that one-on-one high touch, high intimacy, absolutely powerful, transformational one-on-one spaces. However, in those moments when perhaps, you know, a client is wrapping up or someone else is contemplating whether they're going to come on board, you know, the amount of revenue and abundance in return for that one-on-one energetic exchange has got that fixed capacity, right? Like it's got that ceiling to it until you raise your prices, until you raise your ability to hold more space for more clients, for example, right? And we are all going to have an energetic limit as to how many clients and people we can exchange with energetically, and everyone's set point for that is very, very different, and it fluctuates as well, right? Seasonally. Like I know for myself, I have definite times of year, you know, like when looking at my astrology, when I have a much higher capacity for being able to be in that kind of intimate exchange of energetics with someone. And then there's other times when I just need my business to be running in a passive revenue capacity and I don't have the energetics to be able to step forward and hold space for other people. And I have to have that side of my business that can run without me basically having to pour any more of myself into it, because I have done it. I have done the work to nourish it, to charge that, to set that intention of what those courses and resources do have within them. And I've poured all my heart and soul into that at that particular time that I was creating it. And now I can have those seasons when I need to go inward, when I need to recharge, when I need to withdraw and step back. But I can know that my only job during those times is to continue to put the energetics behind the sales of that, to continue to show up and share what it is that those programs and offerings contain, so that, you know that I'm still energetically taking part in that process of putting it out into the world, so that it can be discovered, it can be found by the people who are aligned for that particular thing. So it's a really powerful thing to step back and realize that the what to offer has such a huge component when it comes to the containership, the aligned delivery of the what. That's a huge subset to it. And I think a lot of the times, for me personally, as someone who is, needing that energetic kind of like tango always going on, into that deep awareness of what my energetic capacity is, I feel like there is a huge need for more informed delivery of trainings and courses and things that allow for that flexibility, because someone else's capacity to show up and deliver an online course is vastly different to mine. And that's why my containers are typically far more niche. They are not designed for the masses. There are some people who have that energetic capacity and resonance to hold space for thousands and thousands and thousands of people in their containers. And I am so fucking here for that, right? Like, we need both ends of the scale. We need the niches. We need the smaller, more intimate. I always like to say, like, my world is more like strolling into a library and sitting in the corner with a good book. Like, it is a space that is far quieter, that is far more of a, I guess, I don't want to say peaceful, because obviously these large containers can be very peaceful within them, but it is a far more of frequency where you are welcome to just kind of be. And there's not a lot of hype. There's not a lot of, needing to be on all the time. There's not a lot of pressure to show up. My spaces are very much like, come as you are and enjoy the freedom and the zen of this, space, right? For example, other containers, and I have absolutely been part of these myself in my own journey of going through different programs and courses in my own self-development that I've invested in. Those are the spaces where it's very peppy, it's very buzzy. There is always like something going on in the private Facebook group feed. It's those spaces where when you're in there, it's like this tingling, zing of sensation. It's the sacral buzz, right? That's like connected across the world with these, thousands and thousands of women, or, epic beings. And it's got that pep in its step, right? It's got that pace behind it, that it's like, I feel that I blink and I miss like a million different posts and comments and things that are going on. And that is the vibe of, for some people, they are here to hold space for that. And they are here to hold that powerful accumulation of energy, right? Because we need to have those spaces, because they are very powerful and they are they can be very intimate, even though there are a lot of people in that space energetically. And then there are other spaces like mine that are a very different end of the scale, but each serves its own purpose in this world, right? In this new paradigm. So essentially, at the end of the day, there's a lot of different options you can choose from. But when it comes to kind of determining the what, you've got the choice of, essentially, with an online course or an online program, an online resource, you can either have the live launch approach, where, as I say, this is something that might only be, the doors might open once a year or a couple of times a year, or it might be like a seasonal thing, where I know some incredible women who offer, a online program that runs for, say, each quarter. So they'll open up the doors each quarter and that's their cycle they go through. And that can have the live launch approach to it, that every day they're showing up live within that container. During the launching phase of that thing, they are, you know, very much in the live launch, the limited time. These are the number of different live masterclasses and webinars I'm running, for example. And then within the course itself, there's going to be a great deal of live components. So whether it is that all of the trainings within that program or that course are delivered live, or whether it is that, sorry, I've got a bug flying around my face that's distracting me. Perks of summer. And then, you know, they might deliver all of the trainings, all of the resources live. They might have a mixture of live and then also pre-recorded content that goes out, for example. And then there's going to be obviously the potential add-on of like a live group, say such as like a Facebook group that is in combination with that program, that has like live Q&A, might have like a community manager, or it might even be the person who is running that course, if they've got the capacity to do it, that they're diving in there and they're answering questions and they're responding back to people as they, you know, come into the group and have, you know, thoughts, downloads, questions, seeking to connect, all of that goodness, right? And then you've got something that is known as an evergreen, which is kind of where I position a lot of my things. So evergreen just means that it is always available, like an evergreen, you know, tree that is always green, right? Doesn't shed its leaves, doesn't, you know, go into that dormant period. So evergreen programs or courses online are something that you package up and have available through your business, through your website, through your social media, 24/7, right? They are a set and forget type business model, from the energy of that you have created this course, whether you did it live the first time and recorded everything and then kept that and then repurposed that and took it, transitioned it from being a live course the first time around, switched it into being an evergreen, continuing onwards. Or in my case, you know, I have had programs that I have just set out right from the start as this is evergreen. This, I pre-recorded all of this, I've pre-made this, and this is the thing that I'm putting out into the world, for example. And so evergreen obviously has that bonus that it allows for people to come into your world and your realm and your business and to connect with you at any time that suits them. And the reason that I am such a fan, let's say, of this business model is that this is my experience in Soulpreneur business, right? I have done courses and programs that have been live launch and they only open the calendar once a year, for example. However, it's always been kind of not quite the right timing for me. And I've had to jump in on things just to take advantage of the doors being open. And then I've felt like, oh, well, this was a bit of the timing just wasn't right. You know, like I might have started out with it and done the first couple of modules, and then life had other themes and intentions in a season going on that meant that I had to put it down, I had to put it aside and come back to it at a later date, right? So yes, there is that benefit of being able to tap into it with that live energy if that feels aligned. But you know, when we look at astrology and everyone's like wheel of their year of what houses they're in at different seasons, you know, the different signs as we move through, like for example, as I'm recording this, we're in Sagittarius season and it's my second house in my astrology, right? For so many other people, there is any number of other permutations of which house astrologically Sagittarius season falls in for them. And if you are, say, in your 12th house right now, that vibe and that energy of going through that really deep inward, you know, death, rebirth, spiritual connection, transformational energy of 12th house energy is very, very different to what I'm going through at the moment in my second house, which is like my house of money and values and creating new income streams in my business and all of that, right? So it's like, this is why, you know, just to give you a little like sneaky side peek into my business planning, right? Like, this is exactly why I have content lined up like this that I'm talking about, things about how to cultivate and curate abundance and prosperity and your own unique business abundance in your soulpreneur work. It is why I am releasing a program, you know, my Intuitive Empire and course, and these bundles that I have currently available. Why I'm doing these at the moment, because this energetically for me is my time to be diving into all things business and money and sharing my new paradigm insight into that. So, and then as we transition through the year, there's going to be other houses that I move through. Other people are going to be in a different alignment at different times, right? So this is why for me, I'm a big proponent of having evergreen things available, so that for when it is aligned for someone else, they can step into my world and they can dive in on something. You know, my human design reader training, for example, is an evergreen. It is a self-paced, it is a self-study, because I deeply desire, my why behind what I'm offering is that I desire for people, soulpreneurs, to be able to tap into going deeper into human design, learning how to read human design charts, knowing the language of human design to weave into their soul work, whatever it is that is their calling. And I want people to be able to do that at any point in time that is aligned for them. I don't want someone to have to wait for some big program to live launch at this particular point in time. I don't want someone to have to wait and invest 5-6 figures just to be able to tap into this knowledge. Like, my calling, my gate 45 is like, here is the empowerment of this knowledge that I am sharing with you, because I want us all to rise and I want it to be accessible, and I deeply desire for it to be something that, yes, has a monetary value attached, because this is the 3D, you know, the 3D reality of humans being here, having a human experience, right? We all have that need to energetically exchange something for it to be of transformational value for the other person, right? Like, I am doing someone else a disservice if I am just giving everything to them for free, because there's going to be no resonance there for them to go, well, has no value, right? Like, this is, why would I care? Why should I care? Why should I learn this, right? So there are so many reasons behind why I serve, you know, my community and my soul clients and customers and things in the way I do, because I know I've done all this study into my own design, my own astrology, things like this. So that's why, you know, I feel so strongly about just having the open conversations about how it can work perfectly for someone else and not at all for someone that comes into their world and takes their course, follows their blueprint. You know, yes, I think there's value to some programs that offer things like, what's the way it's phrased? You know, you will have heard some coaches or people who run online courses talk about like swipe my copy templates or something like that. I'm just gonna have a sip of my coffee. They might go like, oh, okay, part of this course is that you get my template for putting up a sales page. You get my copy for my series of emails selling something, right? Like, yes, there's value to giving the examples that people can easily tap into of like, this is how I did things. This is the structure I followed. This is the template formula I followed. But my brain immediately sees that and goes, oh, but like, there are so many reasons why that might not work for someone else. Like, strategy alone, right? You know, if a generator is providing that copy template, a projector trying to use that is going to be like, oh shit, like, I can't keep up with the pace of this email sequence. A manifestor providing those copy templates is like a projector trying to take that and use an informing kind of strategy is like going to automatically create resistance, because it's like a projector is going to be stepping into the shoes of a manifestor and trying to dive into people's email inboxes going like, this is the thing for you, this is the thing that I've created, this is the thing that you desire, you know. And yes, for a manifestor, like, fuck, you guys are amazing with your powerful, transformational, visionary energy to be able to just go like, this is my train, fucking get on it if you want to get on it, and this is where we're going. And I have worked with so many manifestors that have changed my life. So absolutely, manifestors, like, you need to be in the world informing and initiating and creating that, because the gifts of manifestors sharing with the world, and especially like soulpreneur manifestors, is like, you can literally change people's lives with like one little dollop of information. It was a manifestor, was the first person I ever heard speak about human design. And I am so fucking grateful that that person was in my life, because that was like the chain reaction of things that activated my whole series of like soul gifts, right? Like, up until that point in time, when I saw them just like one line in their stories going, I'm going to have a human design reading later today, it was like the universe just went, let's rip open this time portal and transport you, quantum leap you into the realm of like, this is your soul calling and this is what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like, and if I had never connected with that manifestor who was a coach, I don't know how long it would have taken. Obviously it would have happened eventually, but that was like a portal that I stepped into in that like 10-second Instagram story that I watched, right? So sorry, that was a really big tangent, but like and then, for example, you know, if you're a projector, if you're a reflector, like, your way of sharing your wisdom, your insights, your gifts with the world is in a completely different energetic alignment. You know, like, the wording, the way you share, you know, if you are going to be emailing people, if you are going to be showing up on your Instagram stories, for example, and I know this like 2000% from personal experience of trying to copy the formula of a manifesting generator who has given me like, this is the key to my success, this is like the thing to do, this is the way to, you know, this is the way to show up. And the minute I tried to do it as a projector, it was like, nope, like, I have to go away and like completely, like, almost like, if you can imagine like a Lego set, right? And that say car made out of Lego that manifesting generator had given me as part of the program or the course or the online thing that I had learned from them, I had to take that and like dismantle it and take all the pieces apart and then rebuild my own creation that was like an airplane, for example. Like, that's the process here. It's not saying that you cannot learn from someone who is a different energy type, who is a different strategy, who is a different authority. Absolutely not. Fucking go and learn from those people, because we all have such unique gifts of wisdom to give each other. I'm just saying that, like, take what they give you, dismantle the Lego set, rebuild it in your own curated, perfect formula. And that's the main thing, right? And that is the biggest thing that I guess I am sharing as part of Intuitive Empire, as part of these bundles that I have on available and that are on pre-sale at the moment. Like, if you're listening when this episode first comes out, the pre-sale period is going through till the 5th of December. And that includes all sorts of epic bonuses and yeah, just incredible goodies that are coming with that. I'm not a big fan, that's the wrong word. I am not a stand for discounting in soulpreneur business, and that's probably a whole nother episode. I won't go into a big tangent about that, but I stand for having an energetic value on your soul gifts. And by all means, there are going to be businesses and soulpreneurs and people and entrepreneurs and corporations who have the ability to offer things at a vastly discounted rate, who are going to be able to offer discount codes and sales periods and special offers. And fuck yes, we need that, because there are going to be people who, for whatever point in time in their life, may not be able to access any of that wisdom, knowledge, transformational experience, course, whatever it might be, without that ability to meet them at their current level of abundance, right? So that is a whole area of our society and our energetics around money that is really important to acknowledge and respect. And I absolutely am wholeheartedly cultivating that in my own business in the way that aligns for me, right? So I have a huge drive and desire and why behind the reason I give away so much for free in my business, right? The reason that my self-study guides for your strategy, your authority, your profile are all available with a discount code, that if in the Aquarian economy, right, new paradigm, new age economy that we're moving into, that they are there and available for you at 100% off, if that is what you, what aligns for your soul and resonates for you. And then I also have the ability that if you desire to like tip me, donate to me, whatever in return for that, there are so many beautiful women that I've had messages from that have extended that thank you to say, look, I wholeheartedly want to pay for this right now, but for whatever reason, you know, I am just not in a position to. They, you know, they've either lost their job or they've had issues in the last couple of years, or, you know, things have been really challenging, you know, the last 2 years, right? Like we have all been on a fucking roller coaster ride. So I am here to go, hey, if learning about your human design can empower you to change your life like it fucking changed mine, then by all means, like learn about this stuff for free, because this is so fucking powerful and transformational, right? It is why I get so much on my podcast episodes. It's why I have so many free masterclasses available, right? Like that is my drive and my why and my deep desire to serve anyone at anywhere, because I have been that person who could not even pay for the grocery, like the trolley full of groceries, and I've had to leave them at the checkout at the supermarket because my card declined. I have been that person who has had to put things back and ask people, stand there with my phone and go, oh shit, I need to take out this, this, and this from what you've scanned through at the supermarket so that I can at least afford the essentials that I'm taking home to feed us for dinner, right? Like I have been that person who has been so fucking on the red line and in debt and all of those things. That's why I'm so passionate about like sharing as much as I can in a free capacity so that other people can transform their lives. And then at that moment that it is aligned, and this is why the evergreen thing is so, you know, resonant for me, is because at that moment that it is right for someone, that is going to be the right moment when they can come and they can work with me and they can invest in themselves at that deeper level, at that higher touch, intimate capacity. And whether it is that they invest in something that is purely evergreen self-study, as I say, like my reader training, whether it is that they jump in on a program that I am, say, releasing, like Intuitive Empire, that is going out for the first time as a live launch. It's going out as a live program, as in we will be running through the modules. Module 1 will come out 1 week, module 2 will come out the following week, and so on and so forth. However, there is a vast amount of that course that is going to be content that is delivered in a pre-recorded capacity, right? Like it is not me showing up to deliver every single training, every single module, speaking straight to camera live. Like for me, energetically, I know because I've tried it, that burns me out quicker than anything. But if I can manage my energy as I put together modules, and I can add the like cherry on top of the being able to serve people in a live capacity during that initial phase of like releasing Intuitive Empire, which is going to be part of the program, right? That I am going to be there in the live capacity on the back end so that I can answer questions. I can be the person who is in the community dealing with that more intimate connection kind of way. I'm going to be sharing for the live launch round. I'm going to be sharing like energy updates, astrological insights as to what's going on energetically as we move through Intuitive Empire on the live round. So there's all sorts of benefits that I can provide in the way that aligns for me and my strategy and my authority and my unique soul blueprint that serves whoever comes into my world, you know, in the best. I show up as my best so that other people get the best of me, right? Rather than trying to stick to somebody else's formula that works for them and is perfect for them, but leaves me burnt the fuck out, right? Like that's the thing, right? It's like, why would I show up in my business and share my gifts in a way that I know is like only a fraction of what I can offer. So there's like a mindset shift. I guess you have to do a lot of mindset work initially to get comfortable with just being honest and open and going like, hey, look, if you are looking for the one-on-one, if you are looking for the high touch live training, being on a live call with someone training, it's like, yes, absolutely. There are so many wonderful, incredible, epic beings showing up and sharing their magic in that way. If you require something that is more self-paced, self-guided, has a little bit of like that nourishment that, you know, is like there in that live, like you can answer a question and it will, you know, be answered directly by me, like, and you can kind of enjoy the like, let's go sit in the library quietly and read my favorite book vibe, because that is fucking me to a T. Maybe not sitting in the library, like sitting in my favorite little cozy corner of my couch, let's say, in my perfect little like caves environment, 2-line hermiting, snuggled up under a blanket with my dogs sleeping around me, right? Like that is the vibe of how I love to learn. So that is what I share with my soul community, right? So yeah, it's really just such a topic that I love exploring. I love talking about. I love sharing about like that little bit of an insight into the behind the scenes of how things come together to kind of like, it's like making your perfect cauldron of, you know, beautiful ingredients that you're then like stirring together to make your magic, right? Like this is your permission slip to do it your way, to get paid while you sleep, to have these automations that are like support networks behind the scenes that are doing the hard work for you. Like the fucking like incredible gift that is the internet is like my mental projector. Like I just love, there are so many components to doing online business that I just fucking adore and I am so here for. Obviously there is a lot, it's polarity, right? Like universal law, like with the good comes the not so good, with the light comes the dark, with the yin comes the yang, right? Like, so it's understanding that we invite more in of what we choose to cultivate, what we choose to focus on. And I always choose to focus on the fucking incredible goodness that online business can offer. And I don't even give any air, space, and time in my existence to the stuff that isn't so great and that a lot of other people maybe have experienced or are aware of or can see. Like I'm aware it's there. I just don't give it the air. I don't invite it into my life, right? Like doesn't mean I haven't had to deal with it. You know, of course we all have to in online business. Like we don't get to have the expansion without the soul growth that comes with it, right? The lessons that come packaged up in all these interesting and unique little ways that the universe sends our way. So these are the things, these are the expansions, these are the steps that you get to, you know, evolve into and step into and quantum leap into potentially as a soulpreneur. So yeah, very much a passion, a calling of mine, which is why like Intuitive Empire has been such a baby of mine that I have been, you know, cultivating and curating behind the scenes this year to birth and to bring to life and to know the timing that I felt really called to share it with the world for the first time. So as I say, it is going into new paradigm business and exploring that from that essence of what it means to create an online course, online resources, passive income revenue, resources and systems in your business that are there to support you as a soulpreneur in the way that aligns for you, right? Like in this program, we're exploring and I'm empowering you to explore your soul blueprint so that you're able to pull up your human design and your astrology if you desire and empower you to know how to tap into that. You don't have to know everything, right? Like, but it's knowing where to look. It's knowing how to decode your unique soul blueprint so that you can create things in your business that are going to lead to the expansion, the abundance, the prosperity that is so completely soul aligned for you and give you that complete clarity on knowing like what it is that you came here to do, right? Like the what to offer, that is so deeply intertwined with your soul blueprint, and knowing that and having clarity on that just allows you to really cultivate the perfect concoction, curate the perfect suite of offers for your business, that evolves and grows with you, right? Like I always say, this is a meet you where you're at scenario. I am not saying that you have to already be in business. Like you can be still building your dreams. You can be working a full-time job with your soul gifts being kind of like starting to grow their muscles and like be shared with the world on the side. That's how I started out, right? Like, so I'm here to support you wherever you're at on your journey. You might already be up and running and doing the things, and you've got the one-on-one clients, and you're at that point where you're like, I need to be able to scale past one-on-one. I need to be able to have something that sells when I need to take days off to be with my family, to recharge. You know, if you are a healer, if you are, you know, say someone who offers Reiki sessions, something like that, that energetically you are giving and you are pouring into other people, like have these things in your business that mean if you only want to serve and share your gifts once a week, twice a week, you know, you've got other things behind the scenes that are doing their thing for you so that you can have all that time. You know, I always feel so, you know, it's really challenging when I see people who are, you know, so fucking gifted in what they do, but like their energetic capacity is already maxed out. And I know that feeling for myself, right? Like I had to do things in a different way because I could not show up and give, let's just say, like human design readings every single day, because energetically for me, I was pouring, you know, that's my way of giving a reading, is like, I am all in, like my entire being and essence goes into a reading, and I need a fucking long time to recover after giving one, right? Like that's just my way of sharing my gift. And it is so potent, powerful, and transformational when I share it. But I also know, like, I am not designed to be able to like knock them out all day, every day. And there are other projectors who, you know, I've talked to who have far more, you know, they're energy projectors, right? Like they're like 6-7 centers defined. Like they've got like a whole lot of fucking power behind what they can give. And they're showing up in their business doing like 5-6 readings a day, 7 days a week. And I'm just like sitting there with my jaw on the floor. And I'm like, I hate to even think what my I would be like I'd probably do one day and then be like, okay, I'm done. We're like wrapping this up. Like, this is no, I'm refunding everyone, right? Like, but for them, they were able to sustain that for like a really fucking long period of time. Yes, they had the realization that they were burning out because they were doing way more than they needed to. But, you know, this is the thing, right? Of like, again, talking about the energetic scale of knowing that, like, yes, there is a beautiful way that you can still show up and serve one-on-one and give that intimate, you know, coaching or mentoring or readings or healings in that space, and have these things behind the scenes that support you when you want to take your weekends off, when you want to have time with your family, when you want to be able to like get to, say, summer, for example, and take the whole of January off so you can be with your kids, and you can know that you are still waking up in the morning to PayPal notifications because you've got things that are selling that do not require anything of you going on behind the scenes. So essentially, Intuitive Empire is all about giving you the empowerment to tap into your own blueprint, to curate, to cultivate and create your own online courses, programs, resources, whatever it is that aligns for you. And that is the most important thing in alignment for you, knowing your soul, knowing your own gifts, knowing your uniqueness, being able to tap into that. And yeah, I'm just really fucking excited about sharing this with the world, and sharing this for the first time, and inviting in those beautiful women who are, you know, meant to be with me on the journey as we go through the live round. So as I say, the pre-sale is available till the 5th of December, and then we'll be rolling into a period of time when the program officially starts on the 16th of December. So you will still be able to get in if you desire during that window after the 5th of December. However, all of the epic fucking bonuses are not available after the 5th of December. So again, I always share these things in a way that is in complete awareness of every individual's authority, right? Like emotional authority. You need that time to make a decision. sounding board authority, my authority. Like I need to be able to go away and like soundboard it out with my people in my life to make a decision. Reflectors, you need that time to move through the different moon phases to come to that clarity on like, is this thing correct and aligned for me, right? Like over 50% of the world, like, because 50% of the world alone have emotional authority, right? So 50% of the world automatically need to be able to, at a minimum and potentially longer, go away and sleep on it, think about it, ponder on it, take that time and space to go, okay, I felt the gut, like hell yes, but I need to be able to go away and like just be with it, sit with it, come to the clarity in my own unique and aligned timing, right? So that alone is like 50% of people. So why would I ever offer something in a way that is like, you only have 48 hours to make a decision? No, that's not my fucking style. So that's why there is a long lead in time to this. You have plenty of time to make a decision. So as I say, pre-sale is till the 5th of December, and then Intuitive Empire begins on the 16th. So the bundles that are available are all kind of with that. So there are 3 different bundles, and I'm going to link those up with the episode so that you can dive in to see the different bundles, and they are designed to meet you where you're at in your business. Whether you desire like the full shebang, we're starting in December and running right through till, you know, March potentially, with the programs that we're going to step through and walk through in that live capacity. You've then got the immediate access to the human design reader training so that you can kind of start absorbing that and start learning about your own human design at a really deeper level, and learning how to read charts and weave that in addition to the Intuitive Empire course, in addition to the Soul-Filled Socials course, which is coming in the new year, which is all about social media and marketing and sharing your gifts in the way that aligns for you. So that is that's the Celestial Expansion bundle, and that is available with the pre-sale, and all the bonuses that come with it is like fucking like astronomically excellent value. I will just put that out there. This is like a package and a bundle that I put together that I was just like, this is so fucking juicy, and it lights me up so much to share this. So I'm really, really proud. I'm proud of all of the bundles, but that's the one that I'm just like, this just like is chef's kiss, like amazing. And then we have for the different levels of where you're at your business, if you are purely desiring the human design side, we have the Human Design Goddess bundle that with the pre-sale, if you jump in on that, has got the bonus of the Soul-Filled Socials coming in with that. And if you are desiring more of just the soul business support, so the Intuitive Empire, and you've loved everything that I've shared about that, and the Soul-Filled Socials of the marketing and the social media, so that you can kind of be moving through from December through till early next year with that handheld support around how you are showing up and creating things in your business that are of this online passive revenue nature, and then how to share it, how to sell it, how to market it in the way that aligns for you, then that Intuitive Empire bundle would be the right one for you. It doesn't include the human design reader training. So that is more designed for you if you're like, no, I'm pretty good with the human design, I don't need to go into learning it all, but I want to know about my own. So that's where those 3 bundles sit. So I'm really excited. I just am so lit up. Can you tell it's Sagittarius season? Like my second house is just all these things that are so beautifully aligned. And I just feel so honored to have spent this time with you, to have shared this with you. I hope you've taken some beautiful value out of the session. As always, I love hearing your feedback. I love hearing what your aha moments have been. If you are listening or watching, like, please feel free to screenshot, tag me in your Instagram stories. I fucking love seeing where you're listening, where you are in the world, what you're doing. Because I mean, I am such a podcast nerd myself that I am always fucking listening to something of that nature, whether it's a podcast, whether it's an audiobook, like while I'm doing things like driving or cooking or whatever, you know, going for a walk. That's my jam. Like I am a big fan of stimulating. My quad left arrows, can you tell? Quad left arrows love learning something all the time. Like my defined ajna is like, I always describe defined ajna as like a collie, needs a game to play all the time to keep it busy, because otherwise like busy brain just does not do well when it hasn't got that stimulation to kind of like wear it out by the end of the day. So it's a little tip for any of you with defined ajnas and quad left arrows, like that's the thing, give it something to do. So I am going to wrap things up for another session. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wherever you are, I send you so much love and so much gratitude, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode.